Hi, my name is Mr. Chu and you're welcome to my study room. Today we are solving essay question number 2 of the 2024 WASSCE Core or General Mathematics paper written by Ghana. And the question has a diagram that is not drawn to scale. And it says that in the diagram, WXZ is a triangle. Length of side WY is 50 centimeters. And length of the side YZ equals Y centimeters. Find correct to one decimal place A, the value of y, and B, magnitude or the length x, z. We'll first start by saying that because of the right angle shown here, the triangles WXZ, this is WXZ, the bigger triangle, and then the triangle YXZ, let me double shade this one, are right triangles, or what others would call right angle triangles. And because of that, we are going to use the trig ratios, which are the so, ka, and toa for that. Let me just write that quickly. And now taking triangle YXZ, which is the smaller triangle, the side facing the reference acute angle is the opposite, and then the y is adjacent. So tan 70, let me write that. Yeah, first of all, we are using tan because we are interested in the opposite side and the adjacent side, and that is 2 here. Tan is opposite over adjacent, and tan 70 is the opposite, which is xz, and then the adjacent, which is y. And to make xz the subject, xz will be equal to y tan 70 degrees. And looking at the way it is now, we can't do much about it, and so we have to come back to it. Because of that, I'll call it equation 1 so that I can make reference to it later. And now we are going to take the bigger right triangle, which is triangle WXZ. And now triangle WXZ is the bigger one, so we are taking it as if this side was not there. We are taking the bigger triangle. So taking that, again, we are interested in this side, which is the opposite, and then the base, the whole of this side, which is the adjacent. So that is what I have here. So when we take tan 30 degrees, the opposite is still xz, and the adjacent will be 50 plus y, because we are taking the whole length, right? We are going to have 50 plus y, all of this. So you have to put it in parentheses, multiplying tan 30 degrees. And let's call this equation 2 because we cannot do much about it. But then when you pay a closer look at equation 1 and equation 2, you can see that both of them are xz, or the length xz. So that means that we can equate them. So that is what we are going to do. Equating equations 1 and 2, we are going to have y tan 70 degrees to be equal to 50 plus y, in parentheses of course, tan 30 degrees. It's very necessary you put it in parentheses, because if you don't do that, it's only the y that will be multiplying the tan 30, and that will affect your final answer. And now we are going to use the distributive property for the right hand side. And because you will do that, let me rewrite this as tan 30 degrees multiplying 50 plus y. And there's nothing wrong with what I wrote first, because multiplication is commutative, but I just wanted to rewrite it so that we can all see the distributive property very well. So y tan 70 degrees will be equal to, this will multiply the 50, and the same thing will multiply the y. For the first part, we're going to have 50 tan 30 degrees plus y tan 30 degrees. Tan 70 is 2.3 7475. So y times 70 will give us 2.7475y. And that will be equal to, let's look at 50 times 30. 50 times 30. 50 root 3 over 3, which in decimal is 28.8675. So 28.8675. Then plus, let's take tan 30 alone for this side. Tan 30. And that's root 3 over 3, which in decimal is 0.5774. 0.5774. Y. I'm writing all my answers to 4 decimal places just to reduce the size of the error due to approximation. So now I'm grouping all the y terms together. Because of that, I'm bringing this to the left side of the equal to sign, which makes it minus. So 2.7475y minus 0.5774y will be equal to 28.8675, and 2.7475 minus 0.5774 equals 2.1701. So 2.1701 y will be equal to 28.8675. Dividing both sides by 2.1701. Y will be equal to 28.8675 divided by answer, and that will be equal to 13.3024. So 13.3024. And remember, we are back again to correct to 1 decimal place, right? So y will be equal to 13.3 centimeters. That is to 1 decimal place. And now let's go back to the second question B, which is for us to calculate for the magnitude of the side XZ. Fortunately, we can use either equations 1 or 2 to get the same thing. And looking at this, I think equation 1 is very easy to find. So I would say that taking equation 1, let me just squeeze that here by using a different color. So let me make it a B. So taking equation 1, the magnitude XZ will be equal to y times 70, and that will be equal to 13.3024, and I'm using this again for the sake of approximations, but you can still use 13.3 anyway. That it is better to use with more decimal places. Times 70 degrees, and let's check that on the calculator. 13, and that gives us 36.5480. But because the answer said we should do it to 1 decimal place, that will be equal to 36.5 centimeters. The length of the side XZ is 36.5 centimeters. And it is very necessary for us to check our answers to see if they are correct. And we'll be putting both answers into the tan ratio. So for example, when we take the first part, tan 70 equals XZ, we found 36 36.5 over y, we found 13.3, right? So we are going to take the tan inverse of this to see if we get 70. That's just what we're going to do. So tan inverse of 36.5 over 13.3. And let's see what we get. We just check that on the calculator. So tan inverse press shift before tan. So tan inverse of, let me use the fraction, 36.5 divided by 13.3. I would like to close my parentheses and then equals, all right, that is 69.98, 69.98, which is approximately 70 degrees. Remember, all these numbers are approximations. So if we should use the full number, we should get exactly 70. So that means both the y and the xz are correct. We can check the same thing for the 32 to verify. And I'll do that quickly. So using equation 2 for the same thing, tan 30 will be equal to xz, which is 36.5 over 50 plus y. 50 plus 13.3, 63.3. So 63.3. And then 30 will be equal to tan inverse of 36.5 over 63.3. So let's check that and see on our calculator. Again, tan inverse, we use shift tan. Tan inverse of, let's use fraction, 36.5 divided by 63.3, and that will be equal to 29.97. Again, because of the approximation, we'll take that. So 29.97, which to the nearest whole number is still 30 degrees. So that means both answers are correct. Subscribe to this channel for more lessons like this. Till we meet again. Bye-bye.